Welcome everybody to season 3, episode 3 of Dank Dungeon Chronicles. As always, I am Bongmaster Rob coming to you live from the Dank Dungeon. I have the pleasure of introducing a veteran traveling the nation with his service animal of all things, bringing awareness, raising awareness to the cannabis stigma on the powers of cannabis. Host of Vibing with Chief, the one and only 420 Chief. My man, how the hell are you?
I'm
Dude,
doing
this is a
so
long
much
time
better
coming
now.
for me. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It's definitely been a long time coming. You know,
It's a
I've
small
been out here for
community
a
on
while.
TikTok.
I know, and that's crazy. I've met so many new people because, like you and I were to discussing just a few minutes ago, I do have a following in all these other platforms. But within the last, I think it's 4 to 6 months, I finally came over to TikTok because I knew that the stigma of weed was never going to last there. And then finding people like you that are actually out there promoting it, doing this, I can't wait to get to know you, man. So
Yeah.
whenever you're ready, please, by all means, I want you to self-promote. I want you to bolster. I want you to gloat. I want you to tell us all. But first, let's get high. You want to get high first?
Yeah, let's
We
do
don't
it.
have any restrictions over here like we do on the other ones.
I've never broke out a bong ever on a show before. So,
Oh, Lord.
you got
Well,
some
welcome
homework.
to the dungeon with me. And I'm going to hit Little Harvey because Little Harvey is a madman. This little thing here hits like a horse. So
Little
we're going to
Harvey.
be doing a lot of smoking, especially if you haven't really smoked on a stream, man. We got to
I
keep doing
smoke,
this for
just not
sure.
from the bong. I was with
No.
Bongmaster Rob. I thought I better pay my respects. So I will be coughing.
Good.
Yeah.
That's got to cough to get off, right?
Let's get it.
Cheers, my man. For those of you who don't know, this man, you run a podcast. Is it 3 times a week on TikTok?
So I run it on TikTok. I do a music live. So my TikTok platform has really evolved over time. I started my channel by just doing 22 push-ups every single day to raise awareness to the veteran suicide crisis. So every day I get out, and it kind of motivated me to go hiking, get outside, take
Right.
the dog for a walk. My service animal is a border collie. His name's Striker. Full of energy, dude. So I've got to be out on the trails or throwing the frisbee, something, or else he'll run away or some shit.
Right. Well, I've got a Australian Shepherd, same way. Keep him occupied is okay.
Yeah, you
No.
gotta keep them busy, gotta keep them working. But it really, I wanted to do that to demonstrate to people to take that mindful moment for them. Take that time to get out with nature, get yourself balanced. I go out and I'll blaze up and throw the disc with the dog, and I'm really in the moment there. So that was kind of the purpose of that. That didn't really take off, but I still do it every single day. Um, I also started doing music therapy sessions, which is just playing some music, jamming out. I do find some amazing cover songs or really good versions of a song you've heard,
Yeah.
whatever. But what I found there was just an amazing group of support. I was doing this for a hobby, man. I love music. I jam out. I've got all this equipment for podcasts. And so I was like, I'm just going to share it. And what happened next was I started to get messages from people behind the scenes, letting me know some of the struggles that they're going through at the time and how the music really helped them. But more than anything, the people in the lives were so supportive. And I realized, we're all struggling. We're all going through some shit in our own way. But when
Right.
people come together like that and just to support one another and not to dump on one another, there's some power behind it. So I've been doing those music lives every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. Central on TikTok.
So you are 420 Chief on all the platforms, correct? So if anybody's going to find you out there, what I'm going to do right now, if everyone's watching with us, I'm going to go ahead and share out his YouTube channel. Please, by all means, it's going to be in the chat. Please go follow this man. Watch some of the videos he's got. If you're on TikTok, please stop in to see some of these. This is how I first met him. Okay, everyone knows that I was from this section, of the unknowns over here with the ones on Twitter, because we were kind of like the bad people. We could get away with doing all these other things. So when I decided to move over there, you find this entire group of people that were there that I had no idea existed, man. I mean, I'm serious. There's been so much love, so much just rapport with people. You don't get that assholishness like you get on other apps of people who will break you down intentionally. If somebody does go to break you down, like in your chat, for instance, you have people there supporting you. And it's so good to see that we all can center around one main thing.
Absolutely.
Now, you were telling me you're an author as well.
Yes.
I want to know where I can find this book because I want this now because I don't know a lot about strains. I'm a weed smoker. Now I do get a lot of stuff in, but I want to know why that particular strain helped me that day. And the way you were describing, I think it would be very beneficial. So please, by all means, let's hear what you
Yeah.
got here.
So when I first started to consume cannabis, I learned there's first off different strains, different terpenes, and I learned that they do different things. Some are good for insomnia, some are good for pain, some are good for fibromyalgia, headaches, you name it.
Absolutely.
But when I realized, like, man, there's like GMO, I could smoke some of that and talk to my mom for 2 hours. Where normally, if she's at my house, she's on my nerves so bad, it's like, we're gonna do this minute by minute. But I was like, dude, I was chilling, I was shooting the shit, I was laughing with her, having a good old time. I'm like, how am I ever gonna remember what this was? So I came out with this book called Strains for Pains. It's on Amazon. You just search Strains for Pains 420 Chief. It'll pop up, all black. Looks like this. But I started to document the different strains and how they helped me out over time. And then I would kind of take my book to different, pop-up events or whatever, collect some stickers, like it's covered in there. And then I used it as a creativity outlet. I put some pages in there so people can just take notes or write letters, just some positive words of reinforcement. Anyways, so yeah, Strains for Pains. It's on
Here's
Amazon.
his link. It'll be up in the chat the whole time. Please continue. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
His link is there. It should be blue if you guys are watching through YouTube. Just click right on the link and make sure you hit subscribe on there. Strains for Pains on Amazon.
Yep. Yeah, there's been so many times I've been sitting around with my buddies or I'll be out on the road with veterans smoke and they'll be like, "Oh, that's really good. What was that?" I'm like, "Dude, you got to get this book." Like if you know.
Thanks for joining us, man. Now, yeah, I've always wanted the same thing because there's certain strains, believe it or not, that hurt me. I have a lot of metal in my back, and there's sometimes that I'll smoke a weed that it'll like make me do this and get real tense, and then it hurts. And then I've tried my best to avoid it, but of course, never knew to write it down. Hey, man, avoid this strain or avoid these particular types of ways to put that strain in your body. So when you say that you were going, okay, I'm really high. So
hi, how are you? Yeah, I love your
I was trying to catch up with you with what you said a second ago and then remember what I was going to say, but then you know how we do. What is the most beneficial thing out of everything when it comes to cannabis in your life? What would that one thing be? Would it be?
That's a great question.
Being able to be more open, being able to be yourself, being able to get through day to day. I personally, cannabis has made me me. I know a lot of people don't like me. I never liked myself. It took me finding cannabis in order to make me like myself. It makes it hard. But I'm not alone anymore. And because of people like you and going out and putting your foot down and saying, look, just because they don't want to hear it, I know these guys want to hear it. The way you can relax somebody and make them feel comfortable, man, that's fucking awesome.
I think so. And I think that all and embracing your true self is all a byproduct of cannabis. I would say for me, it goes a little deeper to getting me to the point where I realized who I was, who I truly was, and gave my mind a break, gave those obtrusive thoughts some space for me to realize who I really am, what I really like, how I really want to respond and react to people. But that gave me the time to do the work. So it slowed me down from impulsive responses, or comments to, hold on, what's the right way I can approach this? For me, I call it a buffer. It gave me a little bit of a buffer to make an appropriate response and allow me to make that right next move. And it's not 420. Like cannabis, a lot of people, I want to break that stigma of it being an addiction, trading, like in my case, alcohol for cannabis. It's not the addiction. It's you still have to do the work. The cannabis doesn't do that for you. It helps you realize something. Or maybe you're not sleeping and that lack of sleep does a toll on your body and your freaking mind. And in my interviews with veterans, the most common thing I hear is, I'm not sleeping weeks at a time. Well, you know what that does to your thoughts. That doesn't give you time to figure shit out about you, embrace who you are, let alone make the change. So I would say for me, it gave me that pause and that clarity in my mind so that I could make those effective changes in my life. And I'm breaking the stigma of, oh, you're just a couch stoner. That's stoner talk, boys. I hear that shit all the time.
No, I do
But I'm
too.
still out here
Oh, it
on the
makes me
road,
so mad.
really doing things, really helping people, still doing my push-ups, my man. I can still outrun half of my kids. It'll
Oh,
hurt,
man,
but I can do it.
that is awesome. See, that's the same with me. Okay, I work on shit for people for free. If you have something wrong with your vehicle, you bring it to me. But you have to understand, I'm going to smoke weed and fix your car because it puts me in a mindset of focus. Have you ever worked on a car? Anybody out there watching, I never work on a car and get mad and want to throw a tool or smash something? Smoke a little weed before you work on a car. You'd be so surprised on how you will level yourself out. You'll be able to diagnose the problem. Your troubleshooting will go so much quicker. And that's what I teach that a lot in the videos that I do. I tell step by step what tools need to be done, but I'm doing it as an active stoner because a lot of people, you're right. We're couch stoners. That's it, man. I ain't gonna listen to what you got to say. That's all you do is sit around. If you're in a group of people and they're talking about ways they're coping, their coping mechanisms, their coping skills, and one says, "Well, I'll go to the bar and drink." Well, I'll hit this line here, or I'll do that. I'll smoke a little bit of this. They'll look at you worse because you're smoking that than what you are drinking or taking that pill or anything. And I still can't figure that out. I don't know if it's the way that the government had beat it into our head for so long that this is the worst of the worst drug. This is a gateway drug. It is a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug to a better life because it got me off everything, even alcohol. I don't drink anymore. I mean, I used to fucking hammer the Corona like there was no tomorrow. I have no desire to even drink. I can get everything out of every one of those things that I just named out of one plant, which I had no clue of either. No clue. Did you? I think.
I guess I want to clarify one thing. I didn't use cannabis to cope. I used cannabis to overcome. I used alcohol to cope with life. And it took
That
me,
makes a lot of
cannabis
sense. Yeah.
helped me stop coping, stop putting a Band-Aid on. And that's where you find your truth. You be honest with your damn self and
Wow.
what's good for you. And cannabis helped open my eyes to that. And that's why I'm like, I'm not just getting stoned. Like I'm smoking THCA right now. I
Right.
don't feel that. I've been smoking so long. I feel the calm. I feel the pain release in my shoulder and my back right now. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still able to fully function. I still comprehend what you're saying.
Yes.
You know,
And you couldn't do that if I was drunk. You wouldn't be able to hear half the shit
I'd
that I
be
was
silly
saying.
as shit if I was
Well,
drunk. I might not have pants on. I do. I do.
hey, welcome to the Dank Dungeon. Anything below here, I don't see it. So you do you. I don't care. You can have a litter of kittens beneath you.
But yeah, I in addition to the TikTok, I also have a YouTube platform and a website, which is www.420chief.net. That kind of goes over more of what my mission really is. But I'm one person with a story. You're one person with a story. And I realized in talking with some of my friends and peers, fellow veterans, whatever, there's a lot of people with powerful stories. And so
There
I
are.
did. I hit the road, man, and I wanted to get their stories out because it's one thing for me to hear these statistics or whatever from a doctor. What I've
Right.
learned is I know more about me than my doctor does. And I've been able to get off some pretty powerful medicines that my doctors put me on and made me not me anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
I since took myself back and have been doing my own independent research and listening to the stories of others that use this the correct way. Don't
Mm-hmm.
just get high all day just for the effect, but to actually use it to improve their quality of their life in some way, shape, or form, and sometimes their family.
Oh yeah.
Like, these are powerful stories. And so check out my YouTube. I do have some amazing interviews of some
His link
heroes.
is in the chat, everyone. I'm going to put it up against the bottom of the screen now, yet again, so you can click on it. It'll be blue in the chat, so please feel free to click on it. If not, hit me up and I'll make sure I'll share it out to all the rest of my platforms as well. So how many states have you made so far?
Holy crap, man. I've gone from Washington State to Georgia for the Military Influencer Conference.
Uh-huh.
I've been up in Wisconsin, Connecticut, did some time in Pennsylvania, been to Arkansas a couple of times. I went to a Sunny Side of Freedom meetup down in Mississippi. So that was another veteran meetup, great organization. And I'll get into more of that because Sunny and I actually partnered up on a 501c called Break Stigmas that supports exactly what we're talking about.
Which
But
absolutely, during our pre-show conference here, and when we were asking what we were doing, I said I'd made this show to break the stigma, and then lo and behold, he comes up with a foundation to break the stigma. Dude, that's great. It really is.
It is. I mean, when we hear stories of others, like I hate hearing myself talk, I hate seeing myself on camera, but I love when someone is being honest with me on the other end and can talk through how they've used cannabis. And I find myself in awe just listening to them, and it's like, I know people feel that in their heart, and when people speak the truth and they speak real, you feel that, and I hope that helps just touch another person's life. The way they hear that story might resonate
Absolutely.
with them, and so my goal is, man, to get as many of those stories as I can, so when I'm called to speak, I can say, "Hey, it's not just my story. Listen to all of these stories. This is what's called independent research, and it's all real."
Can I share a voice message from England from a man
Please.
to me
Yeah.
on my verge of quitting? Because I honestly am, and I love sharing this, and I hope it's still saved in this archive here. It's weird on how you think that you get up, you do these things every day, you don't know how they affect people. I had no clue on how it affected this man the way it did. And all right, hang on, I'm gonna play it. Do 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 do.
Hey brother, I know we haven't connected much or anything, but just to give you a shout from my side of the pond, your positive, happy little smoking, bong ripping videos, mate, crazy, positive, mask wearing videos. I look forward to them every time I see them, mate, and they definitely pass on and convey the message that you want into on my side, mate. So appreciate you, Rob, for all them videos because they put a smile on my face, brother. So happy weekend, man.
That is a straight shout out to Budwana UK. I mean, I'm serious. I woke up that morning ready to quit everything, and then listen to that message, hearing his kids in the background. He don't know me from Adam. And he sent me something that was 3 o'clock in the morning his time that hit me. He still gives me cold chills to listen to it, just to hear the emotion that, I thought, because my own father degraded me on social media for sharing out a post and me being proud of myself for what I'm doing. And that put me on the verge of wanting to quit. And then this man did this for me. It was the greatest thing that I'd ever encountered. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to quit. Fuck him, her, whoever else does not like what I'm doing. That one right there was enough for me to continue to do what I do. And
Amen. Beautiful.
and I know that you have those same kind of stories. If they've never been shared with you, I really hope somebody soon enough does, because you've affected me just in this 15 minutes we've been talking.
Rob, I get so many behind the scenes stories just as content creators. I think that we all do. If you're doing this and you're empathetic, you really care about, your fellow humans. Um,
Absolutely.
People recognize that. And I get it all the time. I get behind the scenes messages, "Hey, Chief, just wanted to thank you for the live tonight. I was exposed to this or that.
Thank you so much, Sunnyside.
And I couldn't be in any other lives, and you were there, and the support in there just enabled me to keep going, and I do get those more often than not, definitely not something I thought would ever happen, but when it started to happen, that validated for me that this is real life support, these are real life people, and I've hit the road, man, I'm not gonna say I've met a lot of the folks from my lives through
I
Sunny
love
Side
it.
of Freedom and through just out road tripping because at the end of the day, I just wanna hang out with somebody, have a new smoking buddy, and hear their story because we're
Absolutely.
all so fascinating. We are all so ordinary. We have our own story. We've all been through so much, and when you hear someone else tell it, you're like, "Damn, that's amazing. How powerful. Look at what you've overcome and been through."
And and it's weird that I didn't find that locally. When I first, okay, just about my entire family's in law enforcement. So of course, when I wanted to start doing something weed oriented, oh no, we can't support you in that because of this, which was fine. I mean, I don't hate my family for it, but just don't come at me bad if I'm doing good. It took me till I hit 850,000 views on YouTube before I finally shared it to like my family Facebook. All those views, all those fans, all those people that have done all this greatness for me, not one of them were local. Nobody knew. Nobody. Because I knew how they would take it. Now the response is slowly coming, but you never know. That's why it's so great to reach out. And I'm so glad that you did the show with me today. I was hoping we could have done it before now, of course, with holidays and everybody else with illnesses and Me not having fucking internet for 3 days because we got a foot and a half of snow. It's hard to get everything the way it goes. And you've truly inspired me to want to actually continue more. I have met some of the people that I've smoked with, or well, sorry, that I've went live with or found on social media, and it's so different because it's almost like sitting in a room with yourself. It's like, why didn't I find you before now? Why is it taking me to go on to this platform and find you 9 states away to find my friend, my companion? It's crazy.
It's amazing, and it's crazy to think that these platforms like TikTok or YouTube or whatever the hell can have people like virtual smoke buddies. The way I look at this is when I was a kid, my dad was a long-haired, long-mustached hippie. Everybody knew he smoked, didn't sell, just smoked with everybody, didn't care, and he was non-judgmental. But to me, it's like my dad sitting on the porch with his buddies and telling stories. We're doing the same damn thing just in modern times, man. Like, I feel like we're having a virtual smoke sesh right now. And I've
Absolutely.
met so many other amazing people that went from smoke buddies to become business partners. Like, that's the power of these platforms and us talking about it. Because had you not been doing a show or a podcast, we would have never met. Even though
Right.
we have the same mission, this is uniting. This is how we get out people's stories. This is how we get information out, especially important when it's information about how it can improve the quality of one's life or maybe even save it.
Absolutely. And you were talking about how you've been invited to speak at different places. Um, Please feel free to share that too, because man, it is a hell of a story that when somebody can come to you and say, "Hey, I like what you do enough that I think that you could be the face of this. You you have this about you. You have this punctuality to where you can make people feel this." I admire you for that. I really do.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't like talking about me myself so much.
But that's what this show is for. You're going to boast yourself today,
I will
sir.
say,
I know, but I want to know you. We all need to know this because we don't know you, man. That's
well,
why I'm so glad you decided to join me.
what I will say is this, that this means so much to me, in fact, that, I've got my 420 Chief platform, but I did partner up with Sunny Side of Freedom to form Break Stigmas. And the reason that we did that was to unite our missions. Hers is uniting veterans across the nation, breaking the stigma of civilians and veterans. And I want to point out how you and I right now are demonstrating that. You, Bong Master Rob, civilian, but we are uniting because of a shared interest in cannabis and healing. And so to me, that's support. And I want to highlight that. So that's one example. I'm a
Well, we
chief.
got 100 people sitting here with us, joining us with it too. So
Right on.
you have that reach, man. You've got that influence. You do, because this is what I tell people. It's not me as the host. When people see me post, okay, this is a show that's coming up. They're here to see you, not me. My shit's out there. I'm in their face every single day. They are curious to see what kind of person or what kind of company or what kind of emotion that we've brought this thing right here to evolve into this kind of conversation. I mean, yeah, sorry, it looks like a pacifier because I'm going to do a milk. I'm going to do a milk jug. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, show me.
I don't know if you've ever seen me do this or not, but I recommend no one do this unless you're wearing goggles or glasses because it will fucking hurt a lot.
I love this, man.
A lot.
I did an event out in
John, thanks for
Wyoming
joining us, bud.
where we were snowmobiling, and one of the locals, his name was Blaze. He was the only dude in the whole state that would smoke with me. But he taught me a mountain man trick, and he gave me a can of oxygen, which they use for high altitude. And
Yeah.
he's like, you take a rip, and then you hit the air. And I'm like, does it stop the cough? He goes, hell no. Because you almost go out cold for just a minute.
I bet. Oh man, that pure oxygen right on that. Whew.
Rub.
Man, I'll tell you, this thing gets scary after a while because what it does is, okay, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, the premise is when you light a joint, all that smoke that escapes into the air, it's all now in this jug. You have a little carburetor hole on the side. You hold this, you press in. It's a bladder. It shoots every bit of smoke back out the tip directly into your mouth. I like to do about 4 or 5 nose hits when I do it because
Like a little
if you've
gravity
never smoked weed through the nose, through a milk jug, you'll be surprised how high you get.
Look at him.
No shot.
It's disgusting.
But it's fucking good.
I don't know if my nasal passages are clear enough for that, my boy.
Well, I must say it's probably years of doing other bad things that got my sinuses that clear to be able to shoot that much smoke up my nose, maybe, which is not bragging, but stupidity. But every bit of that smoke that's in there has now been forced into your lungs like a normal bladder one would be. And I highly recommend, if you really want to get high.
Now I have to ask, does that add any type of benefit for you? Is it just like
It's
a shot?
right
It's just
now.
like an instant high.
Right now.
Here, I need a Xanax kind of situation. Ah!
You know, it's weird. It depends on the weed. Most of the times it's more like I just turned the fucking engine on an old tractor and it went rub, 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 until it finally starts shaking. That's the way this one goes.
I gotcha.
But I find the way to do it and keep it in there. It makes it fun. Just don't get yourself in the eye with it. What kind of bong was that you were smoking out of?
It's a Phoenix bong. It's got that triple coil. You freeze it, and it helps with, the heat coming in. I got cold water in. Yeah.
I do a lot with ice in mine. Do you prefer putting ice in yours too?
I didn't need to for this one. That coil was nice and cold. That's a gel coil. Yeah.
So is it one you remove and put in the freezer? Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's got these little clips that you're supposed to pull out right here, and then you can just release that, and I just throw that in the freezer. These are gel coils.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit more about break stigmas. So I covered.
Please feel free. Yes, I would like you to share whatever. I know I do understand because I've been on shows before. People ask me questions. I don't know what to say. I don't want to brag on myself at all because my job that I feel is to find people like you or the people that have me on their show to try to share out the things they are doing to promote it. But
right
stop
on.
being
I am mission driven, man. I've got
being so humble. Please.
All kinds of stuff.
I know, and I can't wait to see what you've got in store for the future. Do you have anything lined up, set out for later on this year?
I do, but I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm a man of action, not words. I'd rather show myself than talk about it. But
100%.
I can say with break stigmas, we've already demonstrated. Sunnyside's had 2 successful veteran meetups in 2 states, a total of people from 15 different states. Amazing events. I've
15 different states. Damn.
Yep. And it was featured 420 Chief. So I try to attend all of those because, like we talked about, she's been able to build a family on TikTok where people have consistently come to the lives enough that people got to know one another, where they were comfortable enough to leave their home and go meet up, which is a problem that a lot of veterans have. Is like, fuck that. I'm staying in my bubble. I ain't going nowhere. Yeah. I was one of them, but I've been able to meet some folks, and then they meet me there and they learn there's different consumption methods. I'm big on start slow. Like if you've never done it, you don't want to do what he just did for sure. That might put you in Saturn, like for a little while. So you got to be careful, be mindful of how and how much you consume. So I always say start slow. Have fun with it, but you learn along the way. But I recommend starting slow so you don't have one of those negative experiences. And I got to preface, man, and you probably say it all the time, but your surrounding is hugely important too. You want to be in a safe surrounding with people you trust if you're scared to do it alone.
I was 16 years old the first time I ever smoked. I threw up. I didn't touch weed again until 5 years ago. Outside of just maybe hitting here or there. I had such a bad experience the first time because I believe it was because I was really, really drunk when I did it. And of course, being young and being stupid, I got the spins and got sick, and I blamed it on weed, and I stayed away from it. I mean, my whole life, I stayed away from it. And I don't know why that I did. I really wish that I would have found it before now. The reason why I do certain things is, of course, for the comedic effect of it. But I always do say during my shows, do not do what I'm doing. I do not recommend anything that I'm doing. I have progressed myself into this tolerance level of I have to do things like this in order to feel a certain way. Now, I am perfectly fine sitting back here. Believe it or not, I got some gummies in the mail yesterday, and they are HHC, which is part of the THC plant. These come from Happy Vibes. I'm a partner with them. Of course, my code is HotRob20. Feel free to check them out at happyvibes.life. I took 2 of these yesterday morning. Shaved my head, trimmed my beard, took down my Christmas tree, folded laundry, went around my house like it was fucking nothing, man. I shit you not. And if it wasn't for a really good friend of mine, I probably wouldn't have any today, because I have this very addictive personality. You send me this whole bag, I'm going to eat this whole bag. But I like to do it live when I do it too, so I'm able to show people the benefits of it. These guys make some really things. I did not know that they tore down the cannabis plant and can get 18 different things out of it. You know, all these different cannabinoids are pinpointing for different things. I had no clue. I just thought it was weed and weed. That was it. Never, ever, ever anything else.
Indica sativa.
Coming to find this. Yeah. And I love it. It's crazy on how you can hear my story, you can hear your story, and you can hear Patrick's story, even this gentleman right here. Everybody's story is different. Patrick's from Canada. He's been on my show. He's a hell of a guy to talk to. He's a fucking crazy man, for sure. I want to know, will you ever, ever, ever run for an office to try to support cannabis? Like if they had, say, a state cannabis something, would you ever be that person? Yes, would you?
I am not politics. I'm honest. I will advocate. I will be an advocate for cannabis at an event that may or may not be political, but I will in no way, shape, or form get in politics, because nope, not at all.
Thank you. Not because it's my own personal thing is you can't be a pimp and a prostitute too. You know, I can't tell you that you're not allowed to do something or tell you can do something and then me not or me do, if that makes any sense. I don't want that side of it. I like this side of it. I get more benefits from hearing individuals' stories and going with them than I think I ever would in like that standing. You know, if that makes any sense.
I have learned in my life, and I've been around the world, 20-year Navy veteran, Navy chief, retired. I was a chief for 11 years. That was a shit ton of
Thank you again for your service. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that were deserving of that. But, oh, yeah, touche. I got gummies, too. I'm not going to take them yet. My daughter's got cheer today. I got to check that out. But
priorities. Priorities. A lot of people don't. I do. I do, too. I don't have anything to do today besides talk to you. So my priority is to elevate, I guess. Melevate.
Yeah.
Melevate. Mellow and elevate.
Relaxing. And it's important. It really is.
How long have you had Skylar?
Striker? Service
sorry,
dog?
not Skylar. My bad. I'm so sorry.
So I've had Striker now for, I think, 3 years. 3 years. And he's actually been just over 100,000 miles with me on the road. So he spent days and nights. We've overlanded sleeping in the Sea Wagon, which is a Honda CRV. I built out a bed in the back of there because I like to go off the grid. You know, I'm one of those that sometimes I need to be alone. You know, I'm never really alone, but I like to go off grid, and I'd find some beautiful places like in Montana. I couldn't help myself. I stayed up in the mountains for 4 or 5 days. Just a phenomenal experience. And just, you know, to prove to myself what I really like, what I love, because when you find it, you know, you learn a lot more about yourself. So anyways, I take him with me, and he's actually, we've really bonded to the point that he monitors my breathing. He monitors my heart rate. So like if I'm before I make a bad reaction or a bad decision, he's pawing at me to let me know. If I ignore him, he'll like lean into me. And if I ignore that, this dude will be up on me with his paws, reminding me like you're about to make a bad decision. So it's really bad in traffic, like in Atlanta. But he saved me in so many different ways. Just out in some of these sites, you know, some of these primitive spots aren't the safest because there's bad energy everywhere. Maybe people cooking things out in the woods they shouldn't. And he's defended me in real life against some of that. And so I started talking about this a little bit. I'm like, man, my dog has so many stories. So I actually do another podcast called Saint Show, which is Service Animal Information Network team.
Hmm.
And the point of that is just to get the information out about service animals, where they can go, what they're allowed to do.
Where do you do that at? Is it
And I do it on my YouTube channel for
is it
now.
on your specific channel you have now?
Yep, at
Okay.
420 Chief on YouTube. And then, but I wanted, I've had so many bad circumstances where I have had to pay deposits or I've been denied service because of having my animal. And when that
Mhm.
happens, that triggers me. It's
Oh,
like,
I bet.
fuck, that monster wants to come out. So I know how to cure that real quick, but it defeats the purpose of me having the animal in the first place, which is to kind of stop me from doing that. So I want to help get this information out so other people aren't experiencing that. But more importantly, dude, these animals are so amazing and people don't realize the stories they have. I had a guest last week, Doc, who his service animal, Alma, was a bomb detection dog in Iraq for 6 years.
Wow.
She spent more time overseas than she ever did in the United States in a war zone doing things that people won't do. So what
Right.
she was exposed to is crazy. So she's got some issues, but she was sent back stateside, went through a training course, and he picked her up. And it's just been amazing to even get to know her and her story. And I've actually been able to meet them in real life.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
doing a lot of
amazing.
different types of things, raising a lot of awareness.
Now, are you the first owner of yours?
Striker? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So how long does a service dog last? So does it will his training, does he have to get re-upped every year whenever you
I work with my
have him, or
dog
how?
day and day night. I never stop. So when I go to bed and I'm sleeping, I'm still working with Striker. When you get a service animal, there's no like, here, we're going to help you with this,
Mhm.
or there's this training or this, there's that. First off, you have to have a connection with the dog, and it has to be the type of dog that can even be trained to do what you need it to do. So once
Right.
you've evaluated, what your needs are, then you can find that type of dog. For me, I needed one that would stop me from being obstructive behavior, getting triggered, pissed off.
Mhm.
And when I can't use this, he's there in an instant to let me know. And that just reminds me I'm about to do something I shouldn't do. I'll stop. But then he's really good with people. If he senses I'm getting anxiety off of someone, he'll alert me on that. He always watches out for me. If I'm going to bed, I can actually get sleep not without having to think about what I'm gonna do if, SEAL Team 6 is busting into my house because that's who
Right.
they sent, whatever. Some crazy obtrusive thoughts. I'm like, "You know what? He will let me know that I need to wake up so I can respond in time. I can sleep now." And so he just kinda
Oh, that's
or if I'm sitting
crazy
at a
great.
bonfire, I can enjoy it. I don't have to look around. What the fuck's going on around me? My dog will let me know if something's going on.
Man, I love that.
Yeah, he's
I
legit.
really do. Thank you for sharing that. I really do appreciate that, because a lot of people don't want to, because I'm sure he's like a member of your family. He's one of your children.
Oh,
He'll
yeah.
always be with you, and
Yeah, cool.
it does suck. And I feel for you that you've been places that you've not been allowed to either stay or have him stay with you because of either stupid fucking people or the way they see life and don't see the way things actually are. Because there
Yeah.
is a lot of people in this world who buy just shit and throw it on their animals just because they want to fucking put a Saint Bernard in first class or an ostrich in business. People. I'm really tired of people doing that. They're taking away the premise of what it's for. People like you getting benefits from it. I get you don't want to leave your dog at home by itself. Hire somebody to babysit it. Don't ruin it for somebody else because you want to be an ass.
For
Something
being
like that happened not long ago through here. It was
You can always tell if it's really a service animal because that handler will be it'll be apparent. That relationship will be apparent. You'll see how well behaved that animal is
Mhm.
and how attentive it is to that person. If it's going sniffing around and leaving them and paying attention to everyone else and not sticking by them, it's not really watching them because some people even have them for type 1 diabetics. It'll monitor their breathing and it'll
Right.
monitor their blood pressure. If it's if you're saying it's a service animal, it's not attentive to you, it's not a service animal. That's maybe an emotional support animal. You need it because you love it. There is a big
Yeah.
difference. there.
That's what I was going to ask if you thought there was a difference in that too, because there is. I mean, yeah, I have 2 dogs and a cat, and 2 stray cats decided to come into my fucking back room the other night to freak me out while I was live. But I know where they draw the line, and I would never ever try to imitate them as anything else.
Yeah.
But people who want to bring a parrot on the plane because it helps them stay calm, if that helps you stay calm, if that is what that animal does for you, perfect. I will never judge anybody for that. And then to go on the same kind of service animal thing, my sister, they just retired her dog, I think 2 years ago. She's the canine officer, the deputy sheriff canine officer for this county. So it's kind of hard for me to be me when she had a dog, especially when we go around to functions and shit. Walk up next to the door of her car, of course, the dog's going to bark because it smells it on me or smells it on somebody. She had went through 2. She had one that was a puppy, and he passed away. And it was really, really hard on her. And that's when I realized then that what those animals do to and for people. Yeah, they're partners, but they're also partners. That dog lived with her. Bax was with her every step of the way. You know, she'd get up in the middle of the night, so would he. Followed her everywhere. So when they went to work together, it was, I'm guarding my mom and I'm protecting my child. And it was really cool to see. And to know that they can take animals like that and then make them into animals as service animals for veterans and others who need it is amazing. So shout out to any of the companies that can do that too.
People like dogs better than people. You know, they're real.
You're right. No, I'm not a crazy cat guy now either, Patrick. Wasn't funny. It was funny though, because I come back here and there was a cat sitting in my dog's kennel. It had came through the wall where I had worked on my water line. It's crazy.
Right on.
Do you have anything else coming up this week on TikTok? Anything in particular that's different than what you normally would? Do you have any kind of special like monthly shows for anything that with your other podcasts?
On TikTok, no. I do have music therapy tonight, 7 to 9 p.m. And it's not like solfeggio frequencies. Like I play rock, I play heavy metal. I'll play a lot of reggae from time to time. I'm rooted in classic rock. It's pretty diverse. We go places, if you know what I mean. But I do have some exciting interviews coming up, some really exciting veteran interviews. Really powerful stories, man. The kind that make me just sit back and be like, this should be a fucking movie, you know?
Right.
And so I don't want to say too much there, but follow along on the YouTube channel. I'm definitely going to be much more active in getting those out. And if you know anyone, like you mentioned earlier, Rob, that is a veteran that has an amazing story of how they've been able to overcome some of their traumas, pains, whatever the case is, I would love to get to know them and see if we can maybe, if they're comfortable with it, get that story out. Because the more stories we get out like this, the more people we reach and the more people will realize that what we're saying is true. Because I'm not out here trying to meet celebrities at all. I'm trying to meet real life people that have a voice and it needs to be heard.
That's exactly why I started mine too. But of course, yours, I want to hear more about yours. So anyway, we've got 125 people sitting with us right now. Is any of you guys out there right now, veterans or not, if you want to share your story with him, if you want to get to know him, if you can't find him anywhere, please hit me up. I will make sure I direct to it. As you can see right there below his name is his website, www.420chief.net. Please look him up, hit him up, email him through it. That's all I did. I sent him a link today, and look where he's at, sitting here with me. One question I do have for you.
Sure.
What is the one strain out of all the ones that you've smoked? Not just your favorite, because I have a favorite like my go-to. I'm a whore for this strain. But what one has benefited you the most? This, like the one you would highlight, circle in your book that you wrote, that you would recommend to other people for those like under the same afflictions of you, as you currently.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. Because I know what you mean. Like Pineapple Express would be my definite go-to for day-to-day smoke. Anything purple.
Super lemon haze.
Super lemon haze? Oh, I love lemons. I just do.
I do too. I'm a whore for a lemon weed, man. I am. If it tastes like a lemon drop in my mouth after I smoke it, I will search to the ends of the earth for that shit.
And then like anything purple, Granddaddy Perp for sleep. But to answer your question from my heart, it would have to be Oh my, I just had it. Blue Dream, man. Blue Dream in excess for me helps me self-realize better than anything else, where I can just shut it all up, and it's like an experience every time, like a journey every time, but a valuable one. So when I'm ready to be honest with myself, I'll overindulge a little Blue Dream, and I will self-improve the hard way, which means, like, being honest with myself, like, "Fuck, you need to
Mhm.
work on that, or you need to be better at this, you need to post more videos, you need to
Right.
reach out for people." So, that's what I'm doing here, man, but Blue Dream for me,
I
and a
think I've
spirit
had that in a gummy, but I don't know if I've ever had that in a smoke strain
that's a good
or
smoke,
dab or anything like
and it's
that.
a classic too. It's
Is it?
classic. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
look
yeah.
that one up, try to get some.
That's one of the OGs that back in the day was skunk.
See, that's the thing that back when I was smoking, it was just weed. And if you hand me a weed, the first thing I'm gonna do is smell it. I want the worst of the worst. Punch me in the mouth,
I
pungent,
like some
stinky
pepper.
weed. That's
Yes.
how I am. I don't know why. I've always been that way. And
Old school, man. For real, it's a thing.
is it really?
My dad likes straight hash, dude, and I can't help but love it. And most people are like, "Ooh, how do you do that?" I'm like, "Chunk at a time."
Chunking it. Believe it or not, I've never tried this strain. I'm posting the ones up now there. Patrick's got Pineapple Express is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
John
Pineapple
says Blue
Express,
Dream.
dude, that's a daily go-to. What do you all think? Like, I haven't tried Zope or Soap, and everybody tells me that's so
Okay,
good.
listen. Zope is a hell of a high, but it tastes like if you ever got in trouble when you were a kid and your mom put
And
soap on your tongue, that's
yeah,
what the over flavor is. I shit you not.
I've had
I
worse than
thought it was the company, so I was doing it on a live stream, and I said I don't want to downgrade the company. I need to know. And there was two other people in the live with me, and the people in the chat as well. Everybody said it. It has like a metallic hang on your tongue. I I don't know why, but Dosey Dough is fucking amazing. Now this is Ingrid.
Hi, Ingrid.
She's
Look at her,
training.
she's adorable little bitty
She's
baby.
she'll be ready in about 2 weeks for me to, or about a week now for me to clip this off and start to dry her. Smells fucking absolutely amazing. I won that a long time ago. I got a new one in the mail because you and I were discussing. Do you grow, or
I
have you
do.
ever? Do
Oh,
you?
hell yes. Yeah, I do. There's nothing better than homegrown because I know what goes in it. It's therapy. Like when you take care of your plants like I do, you're out there every day, you fall in love with those sons of bitches. Like they talk to you in their leaves, you get to know them. You're like, oh, sorry, too much of this, too little of this, but it's clean. Mine are so clean. I know everything that's in them. Then I do a long dry and a long cure and a really long cure like a wine. And man,
Really?
there's nothing that tastes, hits, or affects like homegrown does when you grow it yourself. It's a
I
connection.
I don't have the room to grow because I rent where I live at. So of course you can't do it on the investor's property. But Chiba has it so you can grow it in your windowsill. And now I have a second strain that I'm going to start growing, and it's Gorilla Glue, and I can't wait.
Ooh, Gigi?
This is a little bit bigger pot,
Yeah, you
but
might get a bigger node.
yeah, it's amazing. And they sent me some new Bud Buster, some like 5 different packs of different ways for. I'm not going to can't share what it is yet. I have to do a video of it first before I can.
Okay.
It was supposed to make her like be 4 times the size of what it should be.
Okay.
So hopefully it is.
Wow.
Send me a grow light with it even. So I can't wait to try to get this one to grow a little bit bigger. Do you ever try it? Have you ever grown indoors like one little plant? Just keep it with you and talk to it like
I've
the
got
bonsai style.
I've got several grow tents. I've got an 8x8 and then a 5x5 that I grow in, and I can do about 6 plants comfortably in the big one, and then I usually do about 4 in the 5x5. Yeah, I try to grow year round. Actually, I'm taking a break right now. It's been so cold in Missouri that it's really hard to keep it heated in the garage is where I do it.
Mhm.
But oh yeah, I love homegrown.
Yeah, it's been that way here. I feel really bad for putting her back out through the window, which at least she gets the sunlight because it's so cold outside right now that the way it comes through, got to set her back way enough away that she can get the heat from the sun and not that radiant coldness coming through.
Yeah, this is actually homegrown. My son just grew this last cycle in our tent, and this is Limitless is the strain. It's a sativa.
Really, I don't think I've ever tried that. Have you guys ever made your own yet? Have you
No, I'm not that
created your own
cool.
yet?
No, I'm not that cool. I've been sticking to the known brands because I'm trying, like I said, that independent research. So I'll Google or I'll go to ILGM or whatever,
Mhm.
Leafly, and try to find out what strain works best for what, and then I'll try to grow it myself. Like a big one, I wanted sour diesel, dude. Like home
I
grew that,
That
and that
stuff
one,
is good.
like you said earlier, that's one of those. I'll do the yard work, I'll do the laundry,
Yeah,
hook
it's
it up,
crazy, isn't it? And
get going.
and when I
Yeah,
try to tell people that, like, they'll say, "Well, you used to take pain pills." I said, "Yeah, I know. And if you take too many of those, they make you hurt worse than what they make you feel good." I said, "But I can smoke a fucking joint and you won't see me for 3 hours." I mean, I'll go out there and, dude, I'm telling you, I went from, I was 3 months in the hospital, come out of the hospital, come through rehab, learn to walk again. I went from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane to now I can fully walk, standing fully erect like a fucking human and walk because of cannabis. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. That motivates me to get up. It motivates me to want to do things. It gives me that pain relief to go and actually do those things that I want to do. And I'm not going to stop talking about it. You know, I've had people come at me and tell me what I'm doing is wrong or I shouldn't do it or throwing all whatever, making fun of the videos I do. And it does hurt sometimes. But then you think, you know what? I still feel good. I mean, it's because of that. So I'm not going to stop because somebody's mad about it or because the stigma's there. I'm going to keep doing it. Do you feel the same?
well, I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna keep demonstrating how it's benefited my life. You can see that. You can see how much happier I am. You can see the improvement in the relationship I have with my children. My kids love me. We spend time together, quality time where I'm present and active with them. We
Right.
learn together. We have fun together, you know? And that isn't just words, my brother. That's actions. You can see it in the quality of my content. You can see it in the consistency
Absolutely.
of my content. I'm out there every fucking day doing push-ups to raise awareness for my brothers and sisters that lost the struggle from war at home. And it's because a lot of it, and I'm not saying this is the cure-all, but this saved me. And I've talked to a lot more, hundreds more people that have a similar, if not way more powerful story than me because it helped them, it saved their life, and that's what I want to raise awareness for, not because somebody said it's bad and made a fucking movie about how people are zombies. It's not the case, and I'm
It,
proving that. I'm leading that. I'm living that life so that people can see it. Truth.
and it seems like some days it's one person at a time that you're getting that across to, but that's all that matters. If one person can benefit from anything that I've done from day one, I'm going to be happy with it because I know I benefited from it. Nobody told me about this. I had no clue that this product, this plant, this anything that has to do with cannabis at all would help me in the way that it has. Never. I really wish somebody, I mean, I would have found a YouTube channel 10 years ago, but of course we couldn't because no one lets you do that shit. Like, you can get on there and show your cooter. You can do whatever you want. You can sell your body to whoever you want, but you can't smoke weed. That I don't understand because of one person a long time ago getting mad over prohibition and putting this as an illegal fucking substance is baffling.
About money. In the end of the
Yeah,
day, it's all
that's what
about
it is because there was no way of taxing it. They could tax liquor. That's why they did the prohibition shit. A lot of people don't know that, but that's where all that stemmed from. That's when the weed became 100% illegal when they scheduled it the way they did, and it's awful that we have to fight uphill from that.
and I feel sad for Americans who don't even realize that it's being used in other countries. It's being prescribed for medical reasons in other
Oh
countries,
yeah.
and we're not being informed about what that is and how
Would,
much of a difference it makes.
would you mind sharing with Patrick again what site that was? Was it Leafy or Leafly? Is that what
Leafly,
you said?
Leafly, and ILGM. It's ILGM's the most prestigious seed bank you can find online. They guarantee Femity. They guarantee you're going to get a sprout. And
Yeah,
then my
hopefully that
website,
answered your question, Patrick.
420chief.net. Check it out. And you can also find me at breakstigmas.com.
And I will
Well,
make sure that I do share this, everything that we're talking about, out on all of my platforms as soon as we're finished with the show today. All of the places you can find him, anywhere you can go. And if you're watching from YouTube right now on my channel, please jump over to his channel and subscribe. Watch from his channel for a little bit. We're in here sharing alike, doing the best we can with each other.
I'm going to ask for help, man. Like, if you believe in it, like, you can see I'm doing something. Go check out the interviews. Find out more about some of these people that I've been able to interview and what these are heroes, and how they've used it and share that out. The more people that find out about it, the more that it helps. But I need help
Absolutely.
getting the information out. I need help setting up events because I want to draw in a crowd. I want to break the stigma between veterans and civilians and host events, cannabis events with music where we can unite, come together, talk together, smoke together. Because, like we've demonstrated here on your show today, veterans and civilians can easily unite through cannabis, especially when we can agree that it's helping us and it makes us feel good.
Absolutely. I do have a lot of companies that I'm going to reach out to later on today to give them
Any
your
help would
name
be appreciated, man.
to
I
help
really,
any way they can. And then, of course, the podcasters as well. I'm sure some have been watching in here, but I will get a list of them together and get them sent to you.
I would
What I'm
love.
going to go back through with these chats.
Yeah,
Kim,
go ahead.
the growing part is really, really easy when it comes to Chiba. All you have to do is just water it and put her in the sun. They've made it super simple. I have brown thumbs. I can't grow for shit unless it's outside. I can't keep anything alive in here. This thing here, knock on wood, I haven't killed it yet. And it was negative 13 in my kitchen the other night where she was at. So I recommend them. I truly do. And I will let everyone know how Gorilla Glue goes after that. 22 a day. Plant medicine is a part of healing the journey. And I agree with you, Sunnyside, 100%, hands down, all the way through. And I believe this round of applause was for you with the comment you were making a few minutes ago. I would like to have you back anytime that you want. And Sunnyside, you as well. If you two would ever want to just come on to share again, I will bring you guys on any of the shows that I'm a part of. Well, the one is kind of dirty. I don't know if you want to be a part of that one, but
Not
any of my
yet.
cannabis inclusions. Well, it depends on what kind of Peter we're talking, gentlemen. This is facts right here. Until somebody else can find a way to make money from it, we're all going to be struggling. We're all going to still be the ones that's going without, doing this, doing that. But listen, we're coming up on the hour mark. We got about 5 minutes left. Please, if there's anything else that you would love to share with us, I would love you to do it. I'm going to do my gas mask while you're doing it, though. That's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
I got to put a gas mask on. What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something. I'm pretty high right now, though.
Right on.
See what happens?
I see.
When are you coming to Ohio? When?
I'm not sure yet. I am looking to host some events. So Sunnyside has hosted 2 veteran meetups successfully. So I've got that business model down on how to coordinate veteran meetups. But again, I need help finding more growers that are willing to attend these types of meetups, avenues for that. I have a lot of that here in Missouri already. I do have some potential assistance in other states such as Michigan as well. Just need help getting the word out, spreading the word, and I would like to get to know more of our veterans and how it's helped them. So if you know of anybody that you think would be a good fit for the podcast, please send them my way. Give them my contact information. And again, you can find me at 420chief.net right here or on
And that
YouTube.
just wasn't for me, people. That was for you, too. He was saying that to everyone. If there's anybody out there that you know of that has a story, veteran, that would love to share it, reach out to him. He's not gonna hate you for reaching out because it's not me reaching out. You need to reach out as well. And thank you for joining us from Canada. We're gonna be smoking some more too.
Well, all right.
Where are you smoking out of now? Are you gonna hit your bong one more time at least? Or are you gonna
I got some green crack. I'm gonna do one of my green cracks.
That's one that I've wanted to try for a long time, but I haven't. One thing I love about this mask is it tastes like pussy and papaya. That is the greatest flavors in the world.
Papaya.
Yes, pussy and papaya. I got to see where I'm going.
But yeah, a lot of people aren't aware, not only that cannabis is healing, but that there's alternative consumption methods. Like I do a lot of topicals for pain, like on my back or my arthritic knees, because I do be out hitting the trails with Striker Dog. But I've had even mouth sprays. I've had all kinds of gummies and cakes and pies. They even make like pixie dust. You can do fun dip with that stuff.
Yes, I've had that.
I like the drinks too. They make some delicious drinks that are very healthy. Um, but you can really feel the benefit from them. So I do like to educate people that there are other consumption methods and even just CBD, THCA, all of that. That's not my specialty. I'm more like just document your strains in the book, get to know what works for you kind of guy. And I like to vibe out. So hope you guys come in on what is that? TikTok tonight, 7 p.m. That's at FOUR20 Chief on there. But we'll be doing a music live tonight where I do just what we're doing right now, but with music.
And I am going to recommend this to you, and I will talk with Franz about getting you some. High Nine is coconut water based, all fruit juice, Delta 9, 10 milligrams Delta 9 THC in each one. And these things,
You know what I'd really like, Rob, is
absolutely amazing.
I would like somebody to hook it up with like a value bag, like some gummies, some flour, and some drinks that I could take to these meetups so that veterans that are looking to try it out can actually try it out in the different ways. I need help finding that because I've been out of pocket on that. And what I'm finding is I'm spending a lot more than I'm making at this point. So I do need help getting some.
I definitely can help out with that one. I do know people that will send you things probably not all the same companies because they're all different, but if you get them all from each, you can set goodie bags up to pass out for those things. Absolutely. This is a gas mask, by the way. Kelly, sorry, when I was answering that one. But yeah, I do. I've got 4 or 5 different ones that I know. And Patrick's going to reach out to people from Canada as well because he's a great guy from there. What is happening, Shark? Thank you so much. Thank you, Kelly, for subbing to his. Do you do any vapes as well?
Yep.
Yeah, I do. So I have some vape companies that I'll reach out to and get it for, because what you're doing though, man, is not just saying, "Hey, look, we're here for weed, throw it out."
Right.
You're actually going out and doing things.
I'm boots on the ground as it gets, brother.
Yeah, like, man, and I fucking love it, dude. I do. I love the shit out of it. I really do. And I really hope that this is the first of a long list of shows that you and I are going to do together.
Yeah, I could see this being mutually beneficial. I love your mission, and I love educating. And I don't believe in competition except for myself. I really do try to be better. I'm not every day, but when I see people like you that, you're demonstrating, having a good time, man. Like I get on so many lives and so many interviews, and it's always so serious. I like to have fun, and so I love what you're doing with your videos. And still, at the same time, you're able to help spread that information because, ladies and gentlemen, it does save lives. It did mine. It helped me turn my life around, change the way I think, change the way I live, and so many other people.
Me too. No, I 100% agree with you. I could honestly say if I was the same way I was 5 years ago, I wouldn't be here right now. I mean, and that wouldn't have been like a stupid like taking of my own. It would probably have been something stupid of me accidentally falling into something or running off a road. Or
I was there with the alcohol and the driving crazy, even just didn't care.
Yeah, you would get angry, drink fast as fucking possible. I mean, it was the way it needed to be. Now no. I get angry, I get depressed, I take a hit. My anxiety hits, I take a hit, and then I'm here. And then, and it's so hard that when you want to say everything on the benefits of this, is like finding your true love. You just don't know the words. You don't know how to express to people what this has done because no one's lived that rough life that you have. No one feels how you feel on the inside now. It is so hard to project out that inner feeling of what cannabis has done to me.
It is. And the best way to do it is just keep telling the story. Like I say, like my kids will say, "Dad, go hit the Zen pin," because they see the difference in me now and they know how Daddy will come back in the house. And that's a real life example on how this has helped just in my family. So I think the more stories like that we tell that are true.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Yeah. Thank you all so much.
Well, man, I really do appreciate you joining me again.
Yeah, pleasure. This was fun.
Well, I think I'm going to have to head out. I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. I will stop in your live tonight. Please hit me through TikTok when you go live. Share it with me. That way I can join in. And then I'm going to start sharing out. So anybody out there that follows me on Twitter tonight, whenever I'm there, I'm going to share his TikTok live over to there. So please feel free to come over and join. Please hit his subscription on his YouTube channel. Please find him on 420chief.net. Man, thank you again. But as of right now, this is season 3, episode 3, going to sleep now because the weed has set us where we need to be. Thank you again, my man. You have a great afternoon. And thanks again, everyone. Much love. Bye-bye. Thank you again.